All right, here's the main question. How the heck are we going to make it through being quarantined together? How's your marriage going to last? How are your kids? How's your mental health? How's your emotional health? Why are we shooting a podcast at 9:30 at night when we should be sleeping? Here's the deal. My wife is here. We want to talk about the 10 ways that you can survive and thrive through the lockdown.
10 tips. Just tips.
They're just practical tips.
Ideas.
Welcome to the podcast. Let's jump right in.
Okay.
So that we don't fall asleep on this. Okay, you want to start?
Sure. One thing that I love is something called Minutes for Minutes. The idea is that if you're worried about your kids spending too much time on screens and not enough time doing other activities, you can trade. They can trade minutes for minutes. So in our house, we do book reading. If they read for 30 minutes, they can get 30 minutes screen time. We've also included workouts.
Yes.
If they do 30-minute workout, and it has to be like a real workout, not skating in the front yard.
Yeah.
Like
Trampoline doesn't count, although it should. I mean, that's a workout.
Yeah, they are workouts, but yeah, we're trying to get them to do more like...
Yeah, like we do an online thing where we can access all the Beachbody stuff or whatever. That's kind of what we're talking about. If you're not crying or bleeding or vomiting, does it really count?
Or they can go for a run. They can go for a run.
Running works. Yeah, Noah, who's behind the camera, does runs. Anyway, the point is, we also, if you want to try this, we're using gambling poker chips. That sounded wrong. Poker chips. And they put it in a jar, and that represents 30 minutes. And so then they can pull it out if they want to go use screen time. But you still want your kids asking you permission to do screens as well. Otherwise, it can be a free-for-all, right? So we've got a lot of kids in our family here. Just to let you know, we have 19, 17, 2 14s, a just turned 11, just turned 4. Yeah.
And a almost 2.
Very much vulnerable, almost 2. So we've been in lockdown. This is day 15, I think, for us as we shoot this. And so, yeah, it's a gambit. The whole gambit is there, and we got a lot of kids. We're managing a lot of things. So anyway, that's one tip, minutes for minutes. Figure out however you want to do that, but you cannot let screen time be like a free-for-all, because that's going to be crazy. Plus, you want to encourage, reading and outdoor activities and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and screen time means watching movies, playing video games, that kind of stuff. If they're using a YouTube video to learn something, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
So
family movie times don't count for us either.
Yeah, we've kind of put that separate. But
yeah, but we don't do family movies.
You can figure out your own way to make that work.
Okay, so that's minute for minutes. That's moms. Okay, dads, invest in building projects. Right when we started the quarantine, we hit the hardware store and we invested serious kind. It was $500+. And my 14-year-old son and my 11-year-old worked with Grandpa, who lives adjacent to us, and they created a half pipe in the back. I know all of that sounds absolutely absurd, but we're stuck in a house. So anyway, the point is, not only do they get to build stuff and get outside and do those kinds of things, then they get to enjoy what they built. We also are repainting a room and other things that we're investing in like that.
Yeah, projects, big projects, they can really kind of sink their teeth into.
So that's one of my tips. Invest in building projects. Okay.
Another thing that's been working for us is for our toddler, who is, being stuck in the house with toddlers is really tough.
She's real.
It can be challenging.
She's real.
So for her, we were just really struggling with just obedience and following through with instructions and that kind of stuff. So we started something that we're calling Pono choices, which just means good choices.
Pono is the Hawaiian word for like righteous and doing things right.
Yeah.
Versus Pono ole, which is not right choices.
It's just like a chart. We just have a chart. She gets a happy face if she does good things, right choices, and then we take the faces away. And at the end of the day, if she has 10 happy faces, she gets a little treat, which in our case is just a pack of little gummies.
Yeah. And if she throws a fit or something else, then we erase one of those faces too, right? So there's just some infrastructure there. We don't want to get to a place in any kind of discipline or training with your child where it's performance-based in that sense, like you earn our love or our warmth or whatever. So we're not crossing into that line. You always want to have love and you always want to have all of that happening. But this is just a thing on the side, especially in the situation that we're working in now. This is not bribery, but this is just something that's like, hey, your choices have, it's bribery. Okay, it's bribery. Your choices have consequences and it affects people. And so we're just trying to help her. And it's been helping. We've seen a bit of a change.
Yeah, we have.
There was a little hesitation there.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely missing preschool.
There was preschool, now there's not. Now, hey, listen, everybody's dealing with like work, home, and school all converge into one little small space. We get it. So, but everybody's just doing what they can. But that's one thing that has been working, and it's been good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one.
Personality sharing. This was a powerful thing that we did at the very beginning. Maybe it was day 2 going into this. And again, I told you we got a lot of kids and a lot of young people in the house. So we all sat down, and you choose your own personality system. We do Beth Baroni's Healthy Core Values system, and so that breaks up kind of values. What do people value? Captains and leadership value arriving, and the observers value the data. Anyway, so you choose your own, but whatever you choose, you just go around the table. This is what we did at lunchtime towards the beginning, and just said, hey, what do you identify with? What do you value? Or what's your personality type? And we just had the kids talk about that. And then from there, the main question though is, okay, if that's the kind of person you are and that's what you value, how can we all support that, and how can we all understand you better and then treat you better, right? So in normal life, people are in and out, and there's not, it's not like how we're all rubbing shoulders and bumping into each other all day long. And so now that we're in that specific space, the introverts need their time. Some people need more quiet time. And so we have to figure out, hey, if I close my door, or if I have a little sign on my door, that means I need to read, or, you know what I'm saying? You have to discuss, what do you need? How can I give you grace? Here's what I need more of, so we could all just understand each other better. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, an example would be our 11-year-old wants to do things with people all the time. So he's always asking, hey, can you do this? Can you do this with me? Can you do this with me? And it was starting to get annoying, especially for the introverts who had their own agendas and wanted to do their own thing. So just having a discussion saying, respect that about him and understand that about him. And so when he asks, say, not right now, but how about, later on this afternoon, I can set aside some time, we can do something together. And then that stops him from having to ask all day long, and he can look forward to it, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, so we have those kind of dialogues. Some people who are arrivers, they need to check things off a list. They need to produce things. Other people aren't like that. They just want to be with people, and we need to understand that. And we need to be able to figure out, how can they FaceTime with their friends, or how can we have dinners where we're doing games together? And how can the people who need to accomplish things during the day, how can they do that, and how can everybody understand that that's what needs to be done? Those kinds of things. So choose your own personality type, just do something, love languages, figure something out, and then at least use that as some kind of a system or framework to have a discussion like that. Because listen, we don't know how long we're going to be here, and we've got to learn how to give each other grace through this time. All right, number 3 for you.
Expectations for family time. So for us as a family, we've decided that the best time for us to all connect as a family is over dinner. And then after dinner, we spent a few hours doing things together. So that's different activities every day, but there's kind of an expectation there that that's going to be our family allotted time. So if you're calling friends, FaceTiming, or you're doing other activities, or creating ideas of what you want to accomplish, that they have to work around that. So there's always just that expectation that that's going to be family connection time. That that can be different for every family when that is in the day and what that's going to look like. But for us, that's been working.
Yeah, and I think having family meetings, if you're not a family meeting person, and again, I don't know how big your family is, but I think family meetings is a great thing to do. You don't want to have them long, and you don't want to get preachy or crazy or whatever. Like, I'm trying to do that the best I can. Learn how to do that, but just sit them down. Hey guys, these are the expectations. I'd say we try to do 15 minutes before dinner. That's something that I've put on the kids, and say, hey, we're all coming down, we're all gonna tidy up, and then we're gonna get ready and wash our hands and whatever. And so you just wanna make sure that you're pitching expectations so that everybody knows what's happening. I think lunch is another kind of connector time too. There's not really
there wasn't really much of an expectation, but it's kind of naturally
Sometimes
happening.
Lunch for us is like updates on the world and what's happening, or what's happening in their state. And sometimes we kind of reserve lunchtime for that. But with people working in homeschool now, kicking back into gear, sometimes we're not all sharing lunchtimes as much, yeah. Anyway, expectations are really important so there's not conflict. Set them and do it. And then I think for Holly and I, we have to set expectations as well in the night. Hey, what's tomorrow look like for you? What's your work schedule from home? Here's what's happening for me. And then we make sure that we have expectations, especially for those that, need things to get accomplished. They really need to know, and then we need to stick with it. Okay, so my third thing is family board game night. If you're not doing this, I just highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's just working so amazingly well. I know it sounds weird, but one of the games that we've been playing and gotten really obsessive about is Pandemic. I'm not saying that to be offensive to anybody, but we already had it. And we said, let's just bring it out. And so man, we've gotten obsessed with this. So we do it every other night. We do family board game night. And that's kind of setting expectations as well. Everybody kind of knows, hey, we're not going to break out and do our own thing. We're going to have family board game night. We started by doing like family movie and then family board game, family movie. Anyway, set your own thing, but we're really not doing family movies anymore, but we're doing family board game night. It's great. It's not connected to screens. There's just a lot of team building and just, it's really fun. It's going to be something I really will miss, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, number 4 for you.
Making sure that there's self-care for mom and dad. So that's going to be something that mom and dad can talk about and figure out what is it that they need that helps them get through the day. So for example, and then working together to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
So for us, I'm up really early with our 2 little toddlers, and then we're up late with the teens, playing board games. So it's a really long day for me. So once a week, or if I need it more, then Dean gets up with the little ones in the morning, just so that I have one morning a week when I can sleep in, just take my time, get up, shower, whatever, and not just hit the ground running at 5 or 6 a.m. like I normally do. So that's been super helpful for me, just to kind of set that, just once a week reset for me really helps. Another thing is because we've got the older kids, I've created a schedule where they come and help me with the toddlers every day after lunch. So, as I said, my day's really long, and so if I can get about an hour and a half in the middle of the day to myself, that just really helps me get through the rest of the day, prepping dinner and all the other things that happen in that crazy hour of at the end of the day. So,
and that's when you're writing.
For me, that's writing. That's what I do in that time.
Self-care.
That's something that I enjoy, and it gives me life. But, if I needed it, I would take a nap or a shower or whatever else. Just time for me to do whatever I need to do. That's not something that I get in our normal daily schedule when I'm driving all over the place. But in this quarantine season, that's been working, and it's helping me get through our very long days with all of us in the house here.
And is Wes kind of helping you in the morning so that you can do a workout as well? Is that sort of working out? Is he sort of watching toddlers?
Sometimes that happens too, where I can get the workout in the morning, and if someone's up, they can help out.
And then for me, then when I wake up, because usually when baby wakes up or a toddler, then I do wake up, I have a hard time falling back to sleep. So then that'll be my sort of quiet time, devotional time, reading. So for me, I need to read, and that's a part of my self-care. And then I can come down and eat, and then start work and start going there. And so, we just want to make sure that not only your marriage is invested in and protected, but also you personally. What is it that you need? I want you to think about yourself and your marriage like the sun, and your children and your work life or whatever else is circling you. They're the planets that circle you. So it's not selfish in a wrong way for you and your marriage relationship and for your own self-care to be taken care of. You guys are the core mom and dad of this family. So you have to make sure that we're talking a marathon here, it could be, right? So long term, take care of yourself. Okay. And then for me, so dinner connection. So I want to jump back into dinner. And so the expectation that we set is every night after dinner, we do something sort of devotional or journal or sort of kind of connectedness. And so that could be maybe everybody bringing out their journals, and then maybe you ask a question. Hey, is there anything that you guys are feeling afraid about or anxious about or scared of or something? Then maybe everybody takes just 5 minutes to write some stuff, and then one at a time we share. Or for families of faith, if you're doing a devotional and then we share together or something like that, reading a chapter. But anything that you can do that I think, especially for young people, they need some kind of infrastructure or some kind of, they know what's happening, some kind of rhythm. But it keeps our hearts connected, it keeps us sharing our emotional life, it brings us together, and it keeps us thinking deeply. Turn the TV off at dinner, try to not get into that, limit the news that you're watching, just get what you need and that's it. And let's keep things as positive as possible. A
really easy starter one is high point, low point.
Yep.
Yeah, which kind of helped create that atmosphere in our family where the kids were open to talk about things, look a little bit deeper than just talking about, just the normal things that kids talk about. But so just share what was the highest point of the day for them and what was the lowest point. What made them happy, what made them sad. You can adjust the language for whatever age group you're dealing with. But that was a good way to kind of get the kids learning about it being normal to share how they feel about things.
a lot of you are going to be celebrating things. We celebrated our 22nd anniversary recently, and then our 4-year-old had her birthday and stuff. And so also you want to go around, hey, let's all say one thing that we love the best about this person or whatever during dinner. So just whatever it is, but we're spending that time to really connect, and it's really rich. And I love it, and I'm going to miss that as well. Because our life is crazy, right? And kids are at all these different things. So it's to have dinner every single night and to have that rich time after. It's actually a huge blessing for us.
It's been very special.
Okay, so then my last thing is blessing other people, right? So now that we're on day 15, we've had 2 weeks to acclimate, to figure out, to get back into some stuff. And then we said maybe 2 days ago, now let's, as a family, again, after dinner, let's all go around and think of one thing that we can now start doing, more so thinking about people outside. And maybe we're late to the game on that, but nonetheless, we're in a place where we're like, okay, can I call someone every day to check in? Can we, do some grocery things? Or the kids went outside and took chalk and they were drawing positive messages on the sidewalks for some people. We're doing this. This actually came from that too. Hey, how can we help others? How can we look outside now that we're trying to figure some things out here? So anyway, blessing others, I think, is a great way for you to thrive during this time. And any time that you're thinking about other people than just yourself, it actually helps you more, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually good. Some therapists are like, hey, before you come to me, can you spend a week doing things for other people? Anyway. Your last one.
My last one was cooking, cleaning schedule. So the kids already have daily chores that we do in our normal life, but obviously there's a lot more going on now in the house with everybody here, and so we've just upped that a little bit. And for us, we've required the kids to be involved in cooking dinner. So depending on their ages, that can be really, really simple stuff that they can help out with. Mix the salad, or what if they're little. But, my oldest now is making desserts every other night for us. That's
too many nights, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's a creative thing for him. It's not just like cleaning dessert.
Yeah, and he's just suddenly got into baking, and so that's what he's doing for the family. And then the other kids all have 1 night or 2 nights a week where they have to come and work with me and whatever help I need to get the meal ready. Because, cooking for 9 people, 3 meals a day, it's a lot. So.
Bro, we're going through so much food, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is actually a problem. But anyway... I hope those were encouraging for you. We actually have 10 more, so we'll do that on another podcast for another time and talk about creative projects and the please and thank you culture that you want to build, whatever. But we're going to talk about those later. Just wanted to hit you with that. I hope that was encouraging. In the comments below, I don't know where you're watching this, I'm not sure where I'm going to put this, but if there are comments below, we would love to hear what you guys are doing, and we have to do this together in this time if we're going to make it mom and dad and families. I've talked to a lot of parents. Sometimes they get to 5 p.m. and they're not even sure if they're mentally going to make it. They're burning out. They've got kids, and it's a lot for you. Suddenly you're a school teacher, you're working. It's like, this is just a lot. And so anyway, if any of these things that you can implement are going to be a blessing to you or help you, then I hope that that's going to be helpful for you guys to make it through. We'll see you in the next podcast.